Hi, this is Dee. You're listening to my podcast, Let Me Clear My Throat. This is part two of my last one I just did. There's no title, it's just me. I have no script in front of me. I'm just winging it. I actually got cut off on my last podcast there at the end. Um, my mom needed me and was hollering for me in the background. She usually dings her little ding dong button, but for some reason, um, she was hollering for me. She needed help to. Um, she was in a lot of pain and needed me to rub some Vicks Vapor Rub on her legs and give her afternoon medicine and try to help her scoot into the bed a little bit more and put some support socks on her legs. Um, we live by the Vicks Vapor Rub. We really do. I love Vicks Vapor Rub a lot. We buy a large quantity of that. Sometimes I heat it up in the microwave and rub it on her. And she likes it better than the Voltaren, better than the Salon Pops, better than the Icy Hot, better than any of that stuff. The uh, Lorticane, Manacane, whatever it's called, Vicks Vapor Rub. So if you've never tried it, Vicks is awesome. It helps her anyway. Um, she has neuropathy, PAD, fibromyalgia. She's had two bypasses done on her legs. Uh, she has a stimulator implants in her spine. She has multiple conditions, health concerns, but she likes the Vicks Vapor Rub. I get my gloves out and sometimes rubber head to toe in Vicks Vapor Rub. So anyway, sorry I got cut off. I didn't really get to end my podcast. Now, I know I was talking about the car accident from yesterday, and the only reason why I know that is because I backed up to listen to my ending. Because sometimes I get occupied in what I'm doing with mom. I forget where I leave off sometimes, but what I was saying was, with that accident, I was able to get the generator out, and the electric company, I had to call an electrician out to come and hook the weather head and stuff back on. And luckily was able to get one out here. And because it was a part of the car accident, I was told that the insurance of the car should pay for the electrician. So I gave him the case number and all that stuff to the case. But our cable is still not hooked up. They have it hanging from the air, but haven't came to hook it to the pole yet. It's supposed to come out, I think, tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll be able to get this posted today or tomorrow, which I guess to you wouldn't know either difference, but to me, I do. I haven't been able to get on here and do a podcast for a while. I've had a lot going on in the family, with myself, my mom. Um, just a lot going on. This time of year is very hard for me. But also, too, my grandson's birthday was this month. November the 6th is his birthday. And I do a lot for the homeless. I've talked about before in my other podcast. And we do a can drive, or food drive, collecting food for the holiday. I want to hand it out to some families. So I've been working on that, and a toy drive, and a teddy bear drive, because I do a thing called Bearing It Through the Holidays to give teddy bears to people that are grieving or going through hard times, or even families that have loved ones that are deployed, to try to help them have a place to put their feelings. My teddy bear that I have, that my youngest daughter, bought me when my grandson passed away, is his stuffing is been replaced with all of my tears and heartache. So I do know that it is very therapeutic. But so I've been working on that, and my one of my very bestest friends, bestest isn't even a word, but one of my non-biological best friend's sisters. um, she had surgery. My sister had surgery. Um, which obviously I wasn't there for either one of their surgeries. But um, I've been busy. I've been occupied. My mental state of mind, trying to keep it focused. I do a lot of crafting, and I like to classify myself as an artist. Um, but I make a lot of different creations and a lot of different things. So I've been crafting and making things. I just finished a picture on a canvas for someone who lost his mom this year. And it's a picture of him and his mom, his daughter, and his son. And he had a picture on his phone, and I had him send it to me, and I changed the background on it. I finally figured out how to do that. And then I printed it and put it on a canvas. Been working on making Christmas gifts. Made some different things. I've just been trying new things to try and make things differently, because you never know unless you try. You make mistakes, you just rip it apart and try it again a different way, or try to fix it, or put a ribbon on it, or something. I made a cowboy scenery not too long ago for a gentleman. Made a cowboy out of his arms and legs were Q-tips, made out of Q-tips and clay. But it turned out really, really great, actually. He was very impressed with it. Sold it to him. And then made a remembrance Christmas tree on a glass plate with a empty chair from one of my friends who lost her son to a fentanyl overdose. He thought he was taking Xanax, and it was laced with fentanyl, which I've talked about that in my past podcast. Anyway, I made her one of those, and a couple of ornaments with her son and his kids on the ornaments. And I've been making some other Christmas gifts. I don't want to say, in case I have family listening, I don't want them to know what they're getting for Christmas. So, trying to figure out what to make my mom or do for my mom. It's a little bit difficult with her. Most times she gets nightgowns because she lives in her nightgowns. And she's getting actually kind of, she needs new ones. My daughter never fails. Actually, she's been great. She always gets my mom some really nice nightgowns. But she does need another round of new nightgowns. But that's pretty much what she wears, unless she goes to the doctor's. And that's kind of hard to do, because being bedridden and stuff, your weight fluctuates, and having something that fits you but also is comfortable and easy to get on and off is very difficult sometimes for her. She doesn't really have a coat that fits her much anymore. She's got one I bought her for Christmas, but she's outgrew it. And so she has another hooded sweat jacket or whatever she wears. So I might look into getting her another coat or something. And if you're listening to this, Mom, no, I'm talking about somebody else's mom. My mom, I'm sure, is not listening. She lives in her audiobooks. She hears me talk enough. She doesn't need to hear me talk like this any more than what she has to. I'm sure I get on her nerves already. I tease her and I tell her I'm the daughter that gets on her nerves. Me and all my personalities. I asked her one day if my personalities could come over and play. She said no. Later on that day, she told me I was getting on her nerves. I said, that's what you get for letting my personalities come out to play. They're trying. I told you. So this is what you get. But she knows how I am. But when she's grieving or trying to handle what she's going through, sometimes I can be a little overbearing to her, and I'm trying to teach myself to dial it down, if you will, for her, which makes it really difficult sometimes, because I'm an outgoing person, and I'm always like the jokester in the family. I really am. Um, I try, I don't know. People are probably thinking, well, Freddy made a podcast of, how funny you are because you say, give this girl a mic, but, when you come on and you start talking to people, or actually I'm talking to myself in a room, just recording it, so I'm assuming somebody's listening, but right now, I'm kind of talking to myself in this room and recording myself, but, when you start talking about your feelings or trying to decide what is important to talk about, like if somebody handed you a microphone or something, what would you do with it? Would you break out and start singing a song? Would you start telling jokes? Would you start telling a story? Would you try to get inspirational talk? Would you educate? Would you talk crap? Would you be dormant or mic shy per se? It took me a minute to in the beginning to kind of get used to it, because I would always type up what I wanted to talk about, and I would proofread it, and I'd correct it, and I'd read from the paper, I'd research on it, and I did that up until I started talking about not homeless or homeless, and then I kind of rearranged it there with myself, open mic, because I was homeless for 2.5 years, and 2.5 years, somewhere around there, and I just kind of needed. My last podcast I did, my 13th one. This is my 14th or my 15th. Sorry, because I remember I had to do a cough. So you know what number I'm on now? I'm on 15. Yay! Hey, look at me. But anyway, I did the one talking about veterans being homeless. I open mic to that one, but I also gave a lot of information, and I don't know if I lost viewers on it or not, or listeners, but sometimes I talk about a subject and then I'll get sidetracked and I'll start talking about something else, and sometimes I would bring myself back to try to focus back on what I was talking about, bring it back on subject, and try to get my resources and my sightings and perfection that's not perfect, I guess. But with this one, and well, this is a sequel, part 2. I already am planning to do a podcast today. My cable's out, or my internet rather, not my cable. We don't have cable. We don't even have TV, so. But I just sat down. I was making something actually. I just finished that canvas earlier, and I started looking up something else to make, and I decided just to press record. And this is where we are. So, the other one was a little over an hour long. This one I'm at almost 14 minutes, and about right now, 14 minutes. So now I'm thinking, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to talk about now? I would like to figure out how to do live streaming or live podcast or like radio talk show or something like that. I have no idea how to do that. I used to be pretty savvy in the computer because I was always in the office setting. But I kind of stepped out of technology a lot. My accounts all got hacked a while back, and I just stayed off for a long time. And it wasn't until a year, I'm just now starting to see memories up on a year. A little past a year on my memories on my Facebook. But honestly, I wish I didn't have to. I don't say I have to have it, but I wish it wasn't I wish it wasn't what everybody thought made the world go around. Social media. Because I get so tired of so many things are misconstrued and mistaken from lack of actual conversation with people. But also, too, human interaction is so important that I think that's our problem in today's world. And you ever wonder where all the phone numbers you used to have to store in your head from back in the day when we didn't have cell phones, where all that went in your memory and where that's what is taking over that place now? Because it's sure that ain't all the zillion passwords you have to know. Or all the accounts you have to create, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And it's half time I forget what my name is. Well, that's not true, but you know what I could say you know what I mean, but I don't know if you know what I mean, but I know what I mean. It's a lot. And then I have to remember my mom's passwords and my mom's information, and it's kind of like, it's a lot in my head. My brain is full. I think sometimes it seeps over, and then that's when my other personalities leak out, because I think that's when they get overflowed. I drowned them out. With all the information in my head, they have nowhere to go. I joke about that. I say I don't have multiple personalities, but we all have multiple personalities, I believe. I said that in one of my other podcasts. I used to work at this I was a mental health technician. And because I'm medical field, so I have a big variety of different things in the medical field and criminal justice degree. But I worked in a mental health facility, and one of the nurses looked at me one day and she goes, "How many personalities do you have?" I said, "I don't know. How many have you counted so far?" She goes, "I've counted like 20. But it's just a different variety of people you have to interact with. You just got to kind of, I'm one person, but there's so many of me, different varieties of me in my head. But that's because that's who I am, and that's what makes me me. And some people might think, I know people think I'm crazy, but some people may think they're crazy because they don't know how to deal with all the thoughts that go on in their heads, and or might feel like they have multiple heads, and it confuses them. Some people might not even realize they have a subconscious, your inner voice that talks to you. And people, unless I'm the only one, I guess then I am crazy, but I'm just going to assume for safety reasons of mentality that I'm not. But, that little voice, I call it the voice of reason, but that's not always true either. A lot of people don't realize that that's a thing. And you have different levels of your brain. They do different things. And, I've talked before how I used to, when I studied, I always had to study with my music and headphones. I'd have headphones in my ears listening to music when I studied for when I was in college. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's the same way. And she would always wear her headphones with music doing her homework in high school. And I used to always say, or I would think to myself, if you have different levels of personality that are triggered at different times, and say one of them goes and does your class one day, and another day your other personality is in tune the next time, are you actually going to school with your multiple personalities? So then does that make you smart in different areas at different times because it depends on how intelligent that other personality is? So say you got two really smart personalities or several smart personalities. Is that where you get a genius? Or do you get somebody that just has brain overload? Or do I need to go check myself into a hospital? I laugh, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm not. I always laugh when he goes somewhere and I say, somebody will say something to me. I'm like, I'm sorry. My other personalities are having a meeting right now without me, and I was trying to listen in on it. And they would look at me and laugh. I'm like, you have no idea how true that is. But it's not true, but it is. But, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Sometimes I have to humor myself, okay? Because if I don't, who will? Because sometimes these walls close in on me. They really do. I always say the walls have ears, but that's not always true. Life is a sponge. It really is a sponge. And sometimes I feel like a very big sponge, literally and figuratively. But some things I wish I could, I wish I could just squeeze out, rinse out, maybe carve out, make the sponge a little smaller, contour it. But you know what? It's still me. And even with all the trauma and the self-esteem issues I have, and the beliefs of myself, my perspective of myself, like right now, I think I'm having a hard time talking because I'm trying very hard with the cotton mouth that I have, with my mouth, my teeth. And maybe some people are subconscious about talking about their teeth or their dentures. I had 26 teeth and 4 wisdom taken out. And my mom never took us to the dentist growing up. And my teeth eventually caught up with it. And I had a lot of broken teeth, a lot of bad teeth. But when my two middle teeth, my two front teeth, kind of split in half, I was excited to ask the doctor if I could have dentures. And now I'm trying to get used to them in my mouth. And I've been trying different adhesive things because I'm going to talk about my teeth because they're very beautiful, very white. I asked my doctor, my dentist, I said, my teeth are going to be so white. Am I going to glow in the dark? He's like, oh, you're a comedian. But I had them laughing so hard that they had to stop a couple of times trying to take my teeth out because they were laughing too hard. They couldn't concentrate, so I had to be quiet. But that was really difficult for me to do. But once we got into it, whatever. The numbing technician, they were having difficulty until my mouth was numbed. But anyway, so I tried the adhesive tape, if you will, and then the gel glue paste, whatever, and the powder. I've been trying them all. So far, I've been using the powder. I've been using the what is it called? Is it Fix-It-In? Fix-It-In with the scope in it. So far, I've been using that a lot. And brushing my teeth. I have a toothbrush that folds in half and stores away in the other end of it. Because the denture brushes, they don't have covers that cover them. So then the brushes are just exposed. So what I did was I took an old, a toothbrush one, a regular toothbrush one, and I had a smaller denture brush, and I squished it in there and then took a ponytail and wrapped it in there to keep it in there. So whoever makes some toothbrushes, if you can make the toothbrush holders to go over those, that would be a big seller for you. Anyway, but so I have this fold down one that I've been using because it keeps it clean, but it leaves a lot of the gum paste or whatever to your mouth. But every time I peel that off of my mouth or I brush it out, because then I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth. Well, I do brush my teeth. I take them out and I brush them, and I soak them. But I also brush them in my mouth sometimes too. When they're in my mouth, I'll brush my teeth. Sometimes I just use water or whatever. But I take the toothbrush to my gums and the roof of my mouth and my tongue, and I try to get all that goo and stuff off there. Sometimes I have to pull it off. And I'm warped that way that I think it's cool to pull it out, to pull it off there and all that. I guess I'm weird, but um, also in my generation, though, we used to make fake fingernails made out of glue on a ruler. So hey, unless I was the only one that did that. But then, so anyway, focus. The gel and the paste are kind of gross, but the powders, I mean, it's all kind of gross because it all sticks to your mouth, but it's supposed to. It's glue. But I'm having a hard time. Obviously, I know I'm still healing, but when I eat, I leave my uppers in and I take my bottom ones out. And then when I'm done eating, I'll put my lower ones back in because I'm still healing on the bottom a lot. And when I put my two dentures together and push down, it still hurts a little. So I don't try to do that too much because then it won't hurt as much. But I have to eat. And then I have to teach myself how to take smaller bites because it gets caught between my dentures or my opening in my mouth and down on my esophagus, down by my epiglottis, and the little thing that dangles in the middle, your vocal. It gets caught in there in my pipe there, and I have to sometimes do the little finger scoop and scoop it out, or it gets caught on my teeth, or I just take too big of a bite, or I feel like I'm hungry all the time because I don't feel like I can taste anything because I have no taste in the upper palate of my mouth. So I'm constantly going, I feel like I know I ate, but it's like, what did I just eat? Because I really didn't get to taste it. And then if I go somewhere, say if I'm eating a cupcake or a donut or a french fry or something that's easy. I say french fry, but french fry is not really easy for me right now. It really isn't. That's like one of my enemies. But I'll drive down the road and I will take my bottom dentures out and I'll have my bottom dentures in one hand or I'll set them in the the cupcake container or the donut container or whatever it is I'm munching on, and I'll be eating the other object with my other hand. So I'll be having my dentures in my hand driving and eating my cupcake in my other hand or something. And then when I get done, I'll pop my dentures back in and drink me a drink of water and drive down the road. So if you ever see me driving down the road and I got my dentures in my hand, mind your business. Just mind your business. I'm probably eating something. I'm probably eating a cupcake, which is really good. Or a donut or something. And I've learned like with my sandwiches, I eat with a fork sometimes because it's easier for me to eat it that way. But I've been trying to teach myself to eat smaller bites, and I struggle with that honestly, but because sometimes I inhale my food like there's no tomorrow, like I'm not going to get another meal, and I have to remind myself that that's not my case anymore. And I'm very big on, I guess probably because where I had my teeth removed, mashed potatoes with lemon pepper seasoning on them. Oh my goodness, love it. So I'm going to make me some mashed potatoes, bunches of mashed potatoes, and put them in a container. But when I heat them up, I'll put lemon pepper seasoning on it. And another thing I made was I took soft tortilla shells, and this probably does sound gross, but to me it's delicious. I took a soft tortilla shell, and then I had some boneless chicken that I made in the crock pot. But that was just because I made it in the crock pot and I put it. But I guess it could be any kind of already cooked chicken or whatever you put in there. So anyway, I put the boneless chicken in there, and then I put some lemon pepper seasoning on it, and then I put mashed potatoes on top of the chicken and the seasoning, and then put more lemon pepper seasoning on it, and then I fold the tortilla over so it looks like kind of like a taco. So it looks like a chicken mashed potato taco. And then I brush butter on the top of it and put lemon pepper seasoning on top of it, and I cook it in the New Wave infrared oven. Oh my goodness, it's so yummy. It sounds gross, I'm sure, but it is so yummy. To me, it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so yummy. And I just kind of went on this kick of eating it. And my mom, she wasn't keen on the mashed potatoes and stuff, but she was having me put the barbecue chicken inside the soft tortilla shell and cooking it in the New Wave infrared oven. And I call it an air fryer, but it's not. It's an infrared oven. And it makes the best pizza in there, too. And I make my meatball subs in there. I make my cheeseburgers in there. I could probably even bake a cake in there. Honestly, I believe I could because it's an oven. It's an infrared oven. I make everything in that pretty much. I really do. I hardly ever use the regular oven anymore. It's very convenient, very easy to clean up. Put aluminum foil down on the bottom of it. Sometimes I put it on the rack because it's different levels. Makes really good hot dogs. Because then you got the little grill marks on them too. It's like I could go outside and fire the grill up to fire, to cook like 2 hot dogs on it if I wanted to, but that's a lot of work and a lot of propane just for 2 hot dogs. But so anyway, I'm kind of like on that kick. So you don't know now, you know. Whatever information you want to do with that. Oh, I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm just kind of, I don't know how I felt today. I'm trying to decide how I feel, which is kind of sad because it's already almost 5 p.m. here at this moment. Today's my sister's birthday and my biological dad's birthday. They share the same birthday. She's my younger sister. My older sister was the reason why we had rules. I'm the one that got blamed for everything, even if I didn't do it. And my younger sister got away with everything because she was the baby. And if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you are because she's one of my followers on her and I know it. Happy birthday, sis. So, I don't know. Hopefully I can think of another category to talk about in my next podcast. If not, I might open mic it again. It really depends on how I feel and where my mind is at. I don't really have a lot of people to talk to. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. I don't have a lot of people to talk to anymore because I don't go anywhere and do anything. Obviously, my priority was with my mom. It is with my mom. As where it needs to be right now because even though I don't get to spend any time with my daughter, or my children, my grandkids, or my friends, or any of my other family members, or anybody, my mom is bedridden. When I have to help her at the doctor's office, or go back and forth to the bathroom, or give her medicine, or up with her throughout the night, bring her food to her, put her compression machines on her for her legs. Countless hours of her crying and being upset or not being able to walk. Being blind to her, she says, is a piece of cake. It's the not being able to walk that she struggles with because she has lost her independence and her own identity. And when my stepdad died, my dad died. They were married 40 years, and that's almost a lifetime. I mean, to her it kind of was. I mean, it was her lifetime pretty much. It was definitely almost mine. They got married when I was 8, and or 9. I was 9 when they got married. They're gonna be 10. And he's been in my life since I was 7 or 8. And I'm 50 now. So, definitely my lifetime. And it's rough. It's really rough. Things I do, taking care of my mom, like the incident with the car wreck yesterday. the power out. I had to call the power company. Still waiting for Xfinity to come out and fix our cable. I'm supposed to do it tomorrow, they said. They still owe my mom money that they owe her from where they were charging her for having cable and a TV, and she didn't have cable or TV. I finally did get that taken care of. I talked about that in one of my podcasts, and the elderly and disabled. They're supposed to be putting it back into her bank account. I'll know by the 17th if they do or not. It's been a while since they told me that. They tried to tell me that I was going to have to call the bank and do a dispute. And I said, I ain't doing no dispute. You didn't dispute it when you were taking it out of her account and just connecting her when she didn't pay a payment or something. You didn't dispute it when you were taking her money. You didn't have no problem then. You should have no problem putting it right back in. So I'm going to wait until the 17th. And if they don't put it back in there by then, I'm going to an office and talking to them. And it will be taken care of. Because they tried to do it on her bill as a credit. And my mom doesn't have to pay an internet bill because they have a program here. I forget exactly what it's called. I don't want to quote it. But anybody can get it if you qualify. And basically it pays for your internet. You get it for free every month. And they get a stipend from the government to pay for it. So she doesn't have a bill anymore for her internet. And so they put this credit on her bill every month. And it just keeps being a credit every month. And it's like $514 credit that they overcharged her. And had not I caught it when I took over the bills when my dad died, she probably still would be getting charged for this service that she does not have and did not have. So please check your bills, people. Really check your bills. Itemized bills. And if you don't know what something is, talk to somebody that does. It took me 1.5 years to finally get my mom credit on her bill. And I'm still waiting to get the money for her. But it is credited on her bill. It just has to go in her pocket. So hopefully she'll have that by the 17th. But it just amazes me how much these companies get away with. These multi-million-dollar companies get away with off us, I guess you want to say little people, but off anybody. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and that's just straight up wrong. I don't care if my mom's disabled or not. I don't care if I caught it or, I'm glad I caught it, but I shouldn't have had to have caught it. I shouldn't have had to intervene. My mom should not have had to deal with it. She does not have to deal with that. Not to mention what Verizon did to her. And the finance company on the vehicle. It's ridiculous. And you got medicine, so she has a lot of medication. And I sit back and I look at these medicine bottles. You know how many medicine bottles you could accumulate in just a week's time when you have a lot of medication? And then they only put maybe 10 or 15 pills in this big old bottle? Why? Why are they wasting that? I don't understand that. And it doesn't make no sense to me. And then I try to repurpose mine. I do. I need to check safety. I know you can turn in your own medication places to dispose of it. But I wonder if they have a place where you can just drop off empty medicine bottles. I wonder if you can do it, the same thing. But what happens to them? Do they just throw them away? Or do they recycle the bottles? Because that's a lot of bottles. That's a lot of plastic. That's a lot of waste. My mom one time got one, and the same pill bottle could hold a 90-day supply of medication, and then the same exact size will have like 10 pills in it. And then I have to give the doctor's office notice to refill the pills. So I'm like, why don't you just give her a month's supply? because I'm calling you every other week, and then it takes a week to get it filled. So then she's out of her medicine for a week. It makes no sense to me. The doctor finally did give her a 30-day supply, but 2 different times she had to go without her medicine on one particular case. And meantime, I got a great amount of empty medicine bottles. And like I said, I try to repurpose them, but you can only repurpose them so many times. I guess I can just give them to everybody for Christmas. Everybody's getting empty medicine bottles for Christmas. I'll peel the label off and everybody gets a clear container with a lid. That's everybody's Christmas present. And I might be bougie and put a sticker on there with your name, so you know it's your empty medicine bottle. But I mean, seriously though, these companies make things and they have big containers. I remember back in the day when our boom boxes were big. We set them up on our shoulder and whatever back in the 80s, and our cell phones were humongous in a bag we carried on our shoulder or whatever, and our clothes were loud, our hair was tall, and then everything started going smaller, except things that companies make, like medicine bottles. And yeah, I guess, if you have small medicine bottles, it'll be hard to keep track of because they're so tiny. But you know what? A bottle of nitro is really, really tiny, so it can fit in your pocket. And I assure you, I don't lose those. I have one laying by my mom's bed, one in my glove box, and then she has one in her purse. And before I put it in my glove box in my car, whenever, actually, the one on her bed, by her bed, also sits by a bottle of chewable aspirins. Because my mom has a heart condition. She has an aneurysm in her heart, and she has a heart condition. And my dad had a heart attack, and I couldn't find the chewables. I could only find the regular aspirins. So I'm very big advocate on having the chewables around, because that's, good to thin your blood out. And they say if you think you're having a heart attack, whatever. But, so anyway, when I would take her to the doctors, I'd take her chewable aspirins and her nitro, and I'd put them in my pocket. Then I'd put her oximeter that reads her oxygen and her heart rhythm. And I put it around my neck and wear it because it's on a rope. And I take her to her doctors or wherever we're going. I don't really like to keep medicine in my glove box because of the weather change and stuff. I do have a couple of nozzle sprays of Narcan in my glove box. She has a prescription sitting by her bed of Narcan because of her medication. But I have some in my glove box that I carry that a friend of mine had given me because she had some extras. And you never know when you're going to unfortunately need it with somebody. Even my mom accidentally or something, too much medication or whatever. But sanitizer, gloves. My ex-husband used to laugh at me all the time when I used to put gloves in the glove box. Gloves in the glove box, I got laughed at. But like sanitized gloves and stuff. And being in the medical field, I always had my gloves and stuff, working in the lab and stuff. And I'd keep some in my glove box. And he would laugh at me, make fun of me on it until one time he had to pick up something gross. And he said, "You got your gloves in your glove box?" "Oh, yeah, now you're not laughing at me, making fun of me, huh?" Because you never know when you're going to cross something. You really never know. Biohazards everywhere. And I say that when I went out to that wreck yesterday, being in the biohazard world that I was in, I didn't even take that into account or hesitate when I went to go get first CPR. I didn't have a barrier on me. But I took that chance. And when I call the police department to get a copy of the police report, I will talk to them about getting biohazard testing obviously for safety reasons, to see if she was tested, which obviously if her blood was exposed, they test her blood for biohazard because everybody was in contact. So it is a safety precaution. However, I did scrub pretty much immediately after the accident. My neighbor was kind to let me come over and take a shower over there, rinse my mouth out and all that fun stuff. But just as a safety precaution, I will check with them on that. And worst case scenario, I'll just go get tested. It doesn't hurt to go get tested. And it's not like I did anything wrong. Nothing to be ashamed about. And, yeah. So, but with the world today, you might as well just, it's everywhere. Our whole life is a biohazard, it feels like. And I don't want to get into that subject too much because that'll veer me off into another subject, which I most definitely will get into a conversation with probably here really soon. I've been biting my tongue on it, and if anybody knows me, already knows what subject it's probably on, because I'm very vocal on it here at home and around my family and friends, and very much so during the time frame that it was very, very huge. But I have a lot of opinions, a lot of background history. I used to teach biohazard safety at work when I worked in the lab. I did quality and control and biohazard safety and all that stuff. So I do have a lot of opinions and a lot of also background of opinions where a lot of things are concerned. But like I said, I don't want to get into that too much because we're already at 40 some minutes and that will probably be a whole big old story. So anyway, I do want to thank everybody for joining me and being dedicated and listening to me, being understanding, being, I say, I mean, obviously, my computer don't talk back to me. Thank goodness. I mean, it'd be nice, though. I mean, I can communicate with people. I'll probably actually have to comb my hair then. Because right now, I haven't really fixed my hair too much today. And I don't have any makeup on. And it's pulled back in a ponytail. And got my craft shirt on with my white paint stuff on it. And a pair of sweatpants. And my flip-flops, foot slippers that a friend of mine gave me. Because if you know me, I got flip-flops on all year long. Usually I'm barefooted, but I try to keep my slippers and stuff on, walking around in the craft room for one, because you never know what's on the ground here, me dropping things. I might step on something, probably a staple or something. But also around the house, you know, my mom's room and stuff. But also, too, my tootsies get a little cold. But I usually wear my flip-flops pretty much almost all year round, even in the snow. My daughter used to laugh at me because when one of my flip-flops broke, and I was devastated because I didn't have any flip-flops, and I went to go look for more flip-flops to buy. And she's like, you do know that it's winter and there's snow on the ground. And I said, they got to be here in the clearance aisle or something. So I eventually did find a pair of flip-flops that year. But I had to break down and buy me a pair of tennis shoes. And she used to actually record me and laugh at me when I tried to walk in my shoes. Because I was so used to wearing flip-flops or be barefooted that it was weird for me. And I was having, I don't know, I think my feet were rejecting the shoe feel. But she got a kick out of it and laughed and recorded it. So, you know, because it was kind of funny. And most of the time I go through the winter without a jacket on or a coat, or I'll have a light jacket on, or I'll have a hoodie on or something. And I always think, you know, if I can get from the door to the facility, then why do I need to bundle up? Why do I need to have hats, gloves, scarves, and big old boots and all this stuff on just to go 20 feet inside a door? I'll just, you know, take a deep breath, rough it, and go in if I'm cold. But now that I'm getting older, I don't know. Last year I wore a coat. I bought a, it's a Dickies it was hooded. Actually, I bought it a few years ago. It's hooded, but it's a man's jacket coat, and got it on clearance at Walmart for $7. $7. I snagged it. And anyway, it's very comfortable. So I did wash it not too long ago to freshen it up because it was out in my camper. So I might end up getting that out, obviously, this year again. But, or I'd have a habit of just wearing a hoodie, and I might put a pair of gloves on while I'm driving until my steering wheel warms up. But I might be bundled up this winter because I think my heat went out of my car. So I have to get that looked at. Meanwhile, I probably need to get me a car because it's a mess. It's pretty rough. But it gets me, well, knock on wood, it gets me from where I gotta go right now. And hopefully it continues to do that until I can afford to get one. So anyway, before I get rambling on anymore, I do appreciate everybody for coming out. Or coming out. I don't know where you are. I don't even know who you are. I appreciate everybody for joining me. And listening to me, taking your time out of your life. I hope I don't disappoint any more than what some of the things in your life have disappointed you. I try. That's actually what I can do. Is I try. I apologize to anybody. I say I apologize. I shouldn't say I apologize. I feel my heart goes out to you if you're struggling with anything. If you're going through something, and if I've triggered you in some of my podcasts and stuff, my heart goes out to you. To the families yesterday in that horrific accident. I've definitely been praying for you. I literally stood over that woman yesterday in the middle of the road and prayed over her while they were assessing the little boy and the guy. I took that time to go over and pray over her. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked right there. But thank you for joining me. And I do hope that everybody finds some way to bear it through life one way or another, in a way that doesn't consume your mentality in a negative way. And for every negative thing that you feel about yourself, try to counteract it with a positive. Leave yourself little post-it notes on your mirror if you need to. Remind yourself to do reality checks on yourself and those that you love. They always say the squeaky wheel gets replaced, but honestly, sometimes the squeaky wheel gets oiled. Sometimes the squeaky wheel gets replaced. But sometimes, if the squeaky wheel is played with or talked to or enjoyed, I guess, it might be a little bit more smoother, if that makes sense. I guess I was trying to do a metaphor there and just kind of, I don't know. The point is, sometimes the people may talk a lot, may seem, like I know I talk a lot sometimes when I talk a lot all the time around people. I'm not around a lot of people, so when I talk to somebody, I just start talking a lot. And then I apologize for talking a lot. But then what people don't understand is that here lately, I don't even talk to myself much anymore. At least not out loud. Because if I talk out loud and somebody hears me, they think I'm crazy. But when I quiet and I talk to myself in my head, I make myself crazy. So I guess that's where all you guys come in. So thank you. Lucky you. But anyway, please try to find a place to put your feelings. The holidays are very, very hard on so many people. But so is everyday life. And you don't need a time of the year to mourn the loss of somebody. You don't need a time of the year to appreciate somebody. And you certainly should not need a holiday or a time of year to remember somebody, to be in somebody's life, to enjoy a moment, or to even spoil yourself on something. So, I'd like to thank everybody again for coming, for joining me, listening to me ramble on, repeat myself. And if you are struggling with something that is beyond your cope mechanism, note you're not alone. Not everybody is strong enough to handle it on their own. And it's okay to ask for help. And I'm trying to learn that. But also, too, I've learned I'm having a hard time because I've asked for help from people and it's on dormant ears. Or they just can't for their own reasons. But when it comes to your mental state of mind, your physical well-being, and your all-well spirituality, I need to say that with my teeth right now, I'm sorry. My bottom teeth are loose. You're placed with what you believe in and who you believe in. I believe in God. And I will not apologize for that. But yet I will not condemn you for your belief. I'll pray for you, but I won't condemn you. I have no right. But remember, you're also a human being. You're not immortal. It does take a matter of making meatballs at 10:30 in the morning like my dad, to come around a curb on a road, taking a little boy probably to school. It's over that quick. And but also too, don't get caught up in life. Don't get caught up living life by death, if you will, that you forget to actually live your life to the fullest that you can. But also remember that sometimes when you put your life on hold, if you will, for other people, you're not really putting your life on hold for other people. Because if you're putting your life on hold for other people, it's because those people are in your life and they matter to you. So it's not putting your life on hold. It's helping them to still stay and be a part of your life. So that you're not giving up your life. You're still trying to help them to be in it. At least that's my point of view. Hope this all makes sense. And if it doesn't, it makes sense to me. So, but I'm a little biased. You ask me, I'm a little biased. So I am trying to learn to counteract my negative with my positives, but I'm not perfect at it. I do correct myself when I start getting negative. And I try to look at things in different perspectives. Because I used to say this thing all the time here not too long ago. You know, I worked very hard to get where I was at. I have three college degrees with a 4.1 and 3 honors. I busted my butt to get where I was at in life. I owned my home. I owned multiple vehicles. Had a membership to a car wash. I had my shit together. And I was in a relationship with somebody. Not my ex-husband. That to this day, I admit I love. I still love him. He has my heart. And I struggle with that. Because I just struggle with it. Let's leave that at that. And I used to say, all that. And in the end, here I am by myself. Lost my job, lost my home, lost all my belongings. Can't use my degrees necessarily. And it's no reflection on my mom. I felt abandoned. I feel unwanted. I feel unloved. I feel neglected. I feel alone. I feel lost. I feel confused. I feel insecure. I feel ugly. I feel stupid. And I used to say, what's the point? What's the point in it all in the end? Who's going to want me? Who wants this damaged person? Why do I want to sit here and explain myself over and over again to guys in my life and keep trying to make it sound like I'm somebody to be worth being with? What's the point? And I would cry that to my mom so hard. And when I said this? On my birthday. Which is already a hard enough day for me because that's the day my grandson died. But I remember I was cleaning, because I always clean when I'm upset, even more so than what I already do. And I was trying to talk to her about some stuff. And my mom can't handle that. But I have nobody else to talk to. Because sometimes my own personalities tell me to be quiet. Because I'm triggering them. And then one personality that I'm pushing way back in the back and trying to make her my reality check, but in a positive manner, I have to remind her that in the end it does matter. It does matter. And it might not matter to anybody else, but it matters to me. And that is what I'm teaching myself. Because in the end of it all, I'm somebody something. I'm me. And I matter. And in the end, that matters. So don't you forget that the next time you look at yourself in the mirror. You're not everything you feel. Not in the eyes of other people. But that doesn't matter when you don't see them through your own eyes. And sometimes in life, you don't have to see to feel. Sometimes you have to close your eyes so you can actually see things for what they really are. Ask my mom. She's blind. She sees things a whole lot differently than what we do. And she feels it too. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that she doesn't matter. Even if it matters to nobody else. Because she might be bedridden, but she's still my mom. And I'm not looking for her to be gone anytime soon. No matter how long I have to take care of her, there's nowhere else that I need to be than keeping my mom alive. Because even being able to go in there and talk to her is better than standing at a gravesite trying to talk to her. Because she can't tell me I get on her nerves at the gravesite. she can in her bedroom. And I'll take her yelling and screaming at me over not having my mom any day. Because I already know what that feels like, not having my dad. And God be with me big time if she goes before me. Anyway, thank you all for being so dedicated as you are to yourself in your life. Because even taking a breath today is a big deal. And if all you did today was try, I applaud you. Because I know all too well how that can be breathtaking. Literally. I hope everybody has a blessed evening. And if you are struggling in a way that you do need to talk to somebody, please reach out to somebody. Remember, 988 is the suicide prevention hotline. 988. They can direct you to somebody, or they have skilled and very well-trained people that could be there for you and direct you where you need to go. Don't give up on yourself. Because you matter. You're somebody's something. But you're also you. So be something to you. Do something you've never done before. Believe in yourself. This is Dee, and you've been listening to my podcast, Let Me Clear My Throat. No title, just me. Part 2. Have a safe and blessed evening. Good night.